Hey there, it's Lenny McGill with the GlockStore Performance and Custom Shop here in the beautiful Nashville studios today. And what a day it is. It's the first day of fall, 2022. So whenever you're watching this, here we are now. One of the things that we do very well here at the GlockStore is sell pieces and parts that make you a better operator. Operation means that you're able to function the gun better, whether it be pulling the trigger, taking the gun apart, changing the magazine, and all that. This is a stock Glock 19, okay? It has a stock trigger, has a stock slide stop lever, slide lock lever, magazine release button. We sell extended controls for all those, as well as our world famous pyramid trigger that are, just better overall for operation of the gun. They're all simple, easy parts to install. Like I said, this is the slide stop, and we're going to be talking about that. Slide stop is also called the slide release because it stops the slide back, but it also releases the slide. So you push down on your thumb. Boom. Some people have trouble doing that, and I've seen that happen. I don't know, my thumb is kind of leathery now after all these years, but if you have trouble doing that, you can also just pull the slide back. So very easy. Keeping the finger off of the gun, off the trigger at all times because we're not really shooting right now. So this is the proper grip. A lot of people, grab the gun like that, but you really want to be out here with that finger. So today I want to talk about some extended controls. Now, my carry gun is a Glock 43X, and what's really interesting about the 43X and the 19 is they're basically the same size. I'll put the 43X on top of this one here. Just about the same size as far as the grip goes. You can see the about a ½ inch longer on the slide itself. But the key is the 43X is a slimline gun and the 19 is not. Now the 43X comes with a 10-round magazine, 19 comes with a 15-round magazine. The 19 is the most popular handgun in America, and rightfully so, because it is a shooter's gun. I mean, you can actually shoot this thing all day long and not be beat up on your hand. The polymer frame allows you to shoot rapidly, multiple shots, without a whole lot of impact on your hand. So it's a soft shooting gun. It's big enough to be accurate and to be very effective in self-defense scenarios, but small enough to be concealed as well. 43X is a little bit smaller, and some people think it may be too small. But now that said, here is what we want to talk about today. We're going to talk about the slide stop, also known as the slide release. Not to be confused with the slide lock, which is the takedown button. So here's the factory one. And that's what it looks like on basically all the guns. We sell a version that's extended that looks like that. It has a little bit of nub there, and it's a little bit bigger. You'll see the difference. So that allows you to manipulate that a little easier. Now, when I say manipulate it, not only are you using that to remove, or should I say to make the slide go forward, but also it's very important that you learn how to lock the slide back without having to adjust your grip. All right? So I just did it there kind of inadvertently, right? Okay, so here you pull the slide back, and I'm just sweeping up with my thumb on this large button. It is a little bit more difficult to do so with this guy here. So I have to really find it without changing my grip. Many people, most people will come around and do something like this. They'll actually put their thumb on it and push it up like that, which is not a problem and no real reason, nothing wrong with that. The larger button that we're about to install here and to show you allows you to manipulate or operate the gun easier. And that's really what it's all about. Now again, this Glock is unloaded as I've demonstrated. I've checked inside the chamber. I've pulled the trigger in a safe direction. Now we're going to go ahead and work on it. Let's go ahead and do the installation of an extended slide stop that has a unique twist. You'll notice this one has a button that goes backwards. The one we're about to install has a button that goes forward. Okay, so that said, let me pull this guy out and we'll take a gander at it before we put it in. This is the BFS, the bullet forward extended slide release. And you're going to notice that this one, instead of having the larger piece on the back side here, has it on the front side. A lot of people like this, and I wanted to show it to you because I thought it was kind of neat too. So here's that Glock 19 Gen 3 standard gun, right? So I'm going to go ahead and take the slide off and show you how to remove that and place this guy in at the same time. So first thing we do, of course, we made sure the gun was empty. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my shooting grip, wrap my hand up just like that. All right, boom. Hold on to the slide and just squeeze it back about a quarter, maybe a half an inch max. Then access the slide lock, which is always easier with the extended version we sell. Pull that down and keep them down both sides, and then walk the slide off. I didn't do a good job there. Let's see if I can pull these guys down here. All right, so I pull them down and I'm walking the slide off. I'm being careful to make sure that I maintain control of the slide, because I have seen them fall off by themselves, and if it falls off onto the floor, you could dent, bend, disfigure the nose ring here, because it's kind of a smaller piece of steel and there's a big heavy slide all around it. So if it hits down here in the right spot, once that gets bent, it's almost impossible to bring it back to normal, and you may need a new slide. We do sell slides as well. But that's one of the things to keep in mind, is that you want to control that piece. So now that's the upper, that's the slide is complete with all the parts and pieces. We're going to put that aside because we're working on this piece right here, which is the slide stop lever. Notice the spring action. Okay, that's very important that it springs back, because it's designed to be in the rested position. When you exhaust the magazine, shoot all the bullets out of the magazine, the magazine follower has a little step on it right there. And that step will intersect with that piece right there that's inside there. It'd be basically this piece right here. And so that then in turn pushes the slide stop up, so that on the last round, after you take all the bullets out, after you shoot all the bullets out of the magazine, the last round, the slide stop pops up and it locks the slide back. Just like that. That's what the slide, so then you know that, well, one, we're out of bullets. Two, you drop the magazine, put a new magazine in, drop the slide, it automatically loads, and you can go and continue shooting. So that's the slide stop function. Now, the other function that we talked about is being able to show people that the gun is empty. So if you're in a show, or you're at an event, you're at the house and you want to show someone a gun, the proper technique is, one, you pick the gun up, you keep it pointed in a safe direction, you take your finger, you do not put it on the trigger at all, no matter if it's loaded or not. If you're inside the house, what you want to do is now, oh, you want to see this gun? Oh yeah, it's really cool, let me show you. Let me lock the slide back, okay? And I just went ahead and rotated my hand across, because I'm not ready to shoot. I don't need to do anything. I just lock the slide back and I can hand someone the gun. We all know that it's unloaded. Now, he can play with it, look at it, drop the slide, look at the sights. That's what people like to do. Oh, wow, it's really pretty. Okay. Now he's going to give it back to you. And the proper technique would be to lock it back. Here you go. Okay, now we all know it's still unloaded. Because if he hands me a gun back and it's like this, the first thing I need to do is make sure it's unloaded. I need to go ahead, no matter what. I don't know what he's did. If he's standing right in front of me, sitting right in front of me, and we're just having a conversation, and he's looking at the gun, I need to make sure he gives me the gun back. I'm driving. I need to make sure it's unloaded. So I'm going to be, first thing he does, as soon as he gets it, finger off the trigger, gun pointed in a safe direction, I'm going to lock the slide back. And that's what's nice about these extended slide stops. They give you the ability to lock the slide back a lot easier. And it's really important to understand why you want to lock it back. Because now I know it's unloaded, and everybody in the room can see that it's unloaded as well. It's basically, there's no magazine in there. There's nothing there. Like, okay, we know it's not going to go bang by itself. And we know that the next person who gets it, unless he puts a round into it, it's unloaded. But he still has to be the driver. So whoever's driving, the designated driver, has to be responsible for the gun. And so your first objective, whenever you pick up a gun, is to know the status of it, keep it pointed in a safe direction, and look inside that chamber to make sure it is unloaded. Then you can kind of go down to condition, 2 or something like that. You're not on condition 5. You're okay, now we still have a gun. We're still aware of it, but I don't have to think that, it's going to go bang because there's no ammo around. All right. So now let's go ahead and install this thing real quick. Sorry, got to get off on that. Okay, we talked about the follower, the lock back. A lot of times when they don't lock back, people think, well, what's wrong with it? There's a couple things that could be wrong, but one of the things to think about is the follower, is the magazine follower. Is it proper? Did it get damaged? Did it get dirty? What happened? You may want to look at it. Sometimes the followers go bad or they get damaged somehow, and that would affect the operation of the slide stop. So there's one thing to think about always. This is a 3-pin gun, 1, 2, 3. It's got a trigger pin, the trigger housing pin's back here, and this is a locking block pin above it. So trigger pin, locking block pin, trigger housing pin. For this exercise, I really only need to pull out the trigger pin, not even the whole way, just a little bit, because the slide stop is captured by that pin. So if I show you how this thing is sitting in here, here's the gun. This pin is what captures it into the frame. I gotta get my fingers out of the way here, so let's go like here. Hope you can see that. So, it's got to have that spring action. This is the spring. The one thing I'm going to tell you that's really important to keep in mind is this spring. This spring must be underneath the locking block pin because that's what gives it the spring pressure. So if the spring is on the other side, it won't have the pressure you want. And we've seen people who've installed these things, and when they go shoot, the slide lock just bounces around, so bang, and it's just bouncing around, boom, and it just locks itself in place. So it actually catches the slide once or twice, and people go, what's wrong with this thing? It's locking back all the time. Typically, what they have done is they've installed it out of sequence, and they have kept the locking block pin. They put this in before the locking block pin. So the locking block pin goes in first. Like I said, for this exercise, I don't really need to take the locking block pin out. I don't need to take the trigger housing pin out. I'm just going to take the trigger pin, and I'm going to just push it out about halfway, not even the full way. Now, keep in mind, the trigger pin, maybe I pulled it out the whole way so you can look at it. It has little notches on it. Those notches intersect with this hole, and they kind of capture this into the frame. So the way you do this is you actually take a punch, and you want to manipulate the slide stop so that you can pull this thing off there, and while you do that, you're kind of not only pushing up and down, but back and forth. So once you find a sweet spot, this thing just comes right out. And sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. There it is. So I got it just like that. And so there is your trigger pin. Now, you can see the notch I was talking about. I'll take the whole thing out just so you can see it. There's the trigger pin. There's 2 notches that I was talking about. And this slide stop actually locks into one of these notches, and that's what captures it. So as you're manipulating that slide stop and putting pressure with your punch onto the pin, that's what allows it to break free. If you just try to hit it and try to force it out, it's going to be captured on that notch, and eventually you're just going to bend this thing. So I've done that before. So it's not pretty. Just sitting there pounding on it thinking, what's wrong? And it's like, okay, yeah, you're going to just destroy this. So be aware that the way to do that is to manipulate it up and down and back and forth. It has a little bit of play, just a little bit, and just keep some pressure on that with that punch, and then it'll find itself. Okay, so now, like I said, I've got the locking block pin already placed. So if you take the gun completely apart and you put it back together, locking block pin has to go in first. You take your slide stop lever with that pin, out comes the factory, and here goes the next one now. And there you go, just like that. Then you can look into that hole and make sure it's all lined up. And then you have to kind of hold it there with your finger because it's going to want to move because of that spring. And then you take your pin and you push that in by hand a little bit. Take a hammer. You can see I use a hammer with a little nylon tip on it. and I tap it in. Now you'll see this kind of flushed up with the frame right here. What we're looking to do is get that pin in just enough so that the notch on the pin that we talked about intersects with the hole, and you'll sometimes hear it click. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my punch, and I'll be quiet here and see if I can hear that click, and that means that the notch has engaged the slide stop and it kind of clicks in place. And I don't think I heard it click, but it's in there. I can feel it. Okay, so there is the bullet forward, they say, slide stop. It's a little bit bigger, and it sits a little bit farther away, so if you have smaller hands, you're not necessarily going to be able to get on it. But that's by design. This one is set to go forward because if you have large hands, sometimes you can intersect with that when it's in this rearward position. So that's what this advantage of this bullet forward concept is. So there it is. It's installed. It has nice spring pressure. Looks good. Everything looks good. You'll notice again, if you look in here, I don't know if we can see it, but there's the spring right here we were talking about, right there. And that spring is underneath the locking block pin. And that's very critical. That's what gives it that spring pressure. Now to put the upper or slide back on, we just line up our channels there and actually get it to be there, and it looks like it's working good, and that looks like it's working good. And again, now what's interesting is this one is a little bit harder to get onto and to actually release, which I did not expect. And this is the first time I installed this thing, so now pulling down with a thumb, it takes a little bit more effort. It may get a little easier as I go. We'll see. Yeah, I got to really get on it. Yeah, so with the other one, I can actually sweep down. This one I really have to get on top of with a little bit more pressure. But it is out of the way. So if you've got really big hands, or you're having difficulty that you're actually bumping that forward, this is an option. If you have smaller hands, it would not be a good option because you're not going to be able to reach that without adjusting your grip. This other one that we offer allows you to just manipulate it with your thumb, just to sweep up and down on your thumb, just to boom, boom, like that. This guy over here, this bullet forward, actually goes up pretty easy. Coming down, I got to get up on here with my thumb. I can't just sweep it down. I got to really come up here and do it, which is okay. You know, I mean, not bad. But if you're finding that you are accidentally sweeping that up as you're shooting because of all the vibration, this may be a good option for you as a slide stop lever. If you like just an extended version, this is a great option for you. So we've got them both. And the key is that we here at the GlockStore want to bring you the best of breed parts that are available for your Glock to help you become a better operator, a better shooter. And there's two different things there, you know. And operation is also shooting, but being able to manipulate the controls and being able to handle the firearm properly allows you to be a better shooter. And that's the ultimate goal, is to be a better shooter, be faster, be more accurate, be safer. But the controls help you get there a little bit faster. And if you can manipulate them better and manage the firearm better, then you'll actually be a better shooter. Just like that simple. So I'm Lenny McGill. This, of course, is the GlockStore Performance and Custom Shop. We've got a new channel that we started. You know, YouTube has got a little bit woke on firearms, and they're getting more woke on firearms. So all that said, we've also opened up Rumble as another option for all of our videos. So it'll be on YouTube as well. You know, they've canceled a couple of our videos, and we're afraid they're going to cancel more. So we've got this Rumble thing started, and we'll have all of our videos over there as well. So who knows where the world's going to end up? But right now, I am Lenny McGill. This is the GlockStore Performance Custom Shop. We're here in Nashville. Anytime you're close to Nashville on 65 or 40 going across the country, we're like 3 minutes off the freeway. So drop in, say hello, check out the facility. I know you're going to love it. And I got to say, thank you for watching.
Bye.